Damn!
So what's the truth versus myth when it comes to hoodie-clad Zuckerberg? No one will know for sure except him. But here are 5 common descriptions of Zuckerberg that others strongly disagree with and say are made up or pretty big exaggerations.
At 5. Mark Zuckerberg is cheap. Everyone knows Zuckerberg is a big cheapskate. He wears jeans, t-shirts and hoodies all the time, doesn't he? He donned that attire for a meeting with somber Wall Street investors, and even when he met President Barack Obama. Okay, he upgraded a little for his meeting with the Prees, keeping the jeans but swapping the tee for a shirt and tie. But what about his wedding? The ring he gave his wife, Priscilla Chan, is a very modest-sized ruby with a diamond on each side. One jeweler estimated it to cost a measly $25,000. For someone of Zuckerberg's wealth he's said to be worth at least $17 billion, Chan should have been given a bolder-sized. Can't forget he also served inexpensive Mexican eats at the reception. And when he and Chan were honeymooning in Italy, they ate at McDonald's once, and didn't leave a tip when they dined at 2 more formal spots. The Mythbusters dismiss all of this petty sniping. Maybe Chan didn't want a big ring. Maybe they both like Mexican food and McDonald's. And at one of the Roman restaurants where he and his wife supped without tipping, and maybe both, the gratuity was already included in the bill. So there. The real proof is no skin flight, though. Zuckerberg donated $100 million to start an education foundation to assist long-troubled schools in Newark, New Jersey. And Zuck has no connection whatsoever to the city. At 4. Mark Zuckerberg is arrogant.
Anyone who's seen the movie, The Social Network, knows how arrogant Mark Zuckerberg is. In the flick, he's depicted as not only arrogant, but also devious and an egomaniac. Films have the power to make us believe things that aren't necessarily true, even though our minds rationally know that we were simply watching a movie, and filmmakers quite often embellish the truth to suit their needs. Yet Zuckerberg critics say this depiction in the film is surely true, because anyone who wears hoodies and t-shirts to important meetings with investors and dignitaries is definitely arrogant. His arrogance is also borne out by the fact that he priced Facebook's IPO at the top of its projected rank. They add. But those who really know Mark Zuckerberg, who have met him, worked with him, lived with him, disagree. Joe Green, Zuckerberg's former college roommate, says Zuckerberg isn't arrogant, just very confident. And David Kirkpatrick, a writer who spent a lot of time at Facebook while researching his book, The Facebook Effect, says Zuck is pretty funny, and has lots of friends. Hardly what you'd expect from an arrogant jerk.
At 3. Mark Zuckerberg is a business whiz.
How can Mark Zuckerberg not be a business whiz? The guy is worth billions after launching Facebook, a social network that pretty much everyone in the world knows about, and that's used by 1 billion people today, and he did it all when he was still a pajama-clad kid in college. Heck, he was even named Time Magazine's Person of the Year in 2010. True. But there are business whizzes, and there are technology whizzes. Many, if not most, business experts would agree Zuckerberg is a techno whiz. But, say some, what business whiz would come up with the IPO that Zuckerberg did? Expected to earn him at least $846 million, Facebook stock tanked shortly after it debuted, and Zuck's net worth actually fell by $8.1 billion instead. Why? He priced it way too high, and investors feel Facebook doesn't have a sustainable revenue model for the future, as people are currently switching from PCs and laptops to smartphones. If that isn't enough proof, Zuckerberg himself admitted he knew nothing about business a full 2 years into Facebook, when Yahoo offered him $1 billion to buy it and he refused, infuriating employees and investors. He's undoubtedly learned a lot since then.
At 2. Mark Zuckerberg is socially awkward.
Mark Zuckerberg is a nerdy geek, and we all know it. If you saw The Social Network, do you know he spent his college years skulking around campus in rumpled clothes, couldn't get into a prestigious social club, and his few friends consisted of fellow geeks and loser types? So not true, cry those who know him well. Harvard roommate Joe Green calls him uber confidant. Author David Kirkpatrick, who had access to Zuckerberg and the entire company while he researched his book The Facebook Effect, says Zuckerberg is funny and not just social, but extremely social. Another author, Carol Ballin, worked at Facebook for a year, then wrote the book about his experience. Ballin says Zuckerberg actually was rather socially awkward in the not-too-distant past, but he's been working hard at improving this part of his personality, and today's he's a pretty socially unawkward dude. Enjoy Yak It To Me without advertisements.
And 1. Mark Zuckerberg is a backstabber.
Never turn your back on Mark Zuckerberg, or he'll plunge a knife deeply into it. And probably twist it a bit as well. Yes, it's true. According to The Social Network, he agreed to work with the Winklevoss twins at Harvard on a similar social media project, then ran off and founded Facebook instead. And while he initially worked well with friends and partner Eduardo Saverin, once Eduardo disagreed with some of Zuck's moves, Zuck cut him out of the business to fly solo. That's how the movie portrays things, anyway. Plenty of others in the know disagree with not only the versions of these events, but Zuckerberg's personality. David Kirkpatrick, author of The Facebook Effect, says Zuckerberg is definitely not a mean, cruel person, and he should know, as he spent a fair amount of time with both Zuckerberg and company employees while he researched his book. And Carol Ballin, a guy who actually worked at Facebook, for a year, and very closely with Zuckerberg, says Zuckerberg would definitely never deliberately betray a friend.
Hope you liked the video and so subscribe for more things that make you say damn.